Hey everybody, and welcome back to another night of Q&A questions. So, the big question that has been floating around is how is the province, or how am I dealing, or what do I think of all of these questions wrapped up into the new lockdown? So, unfortunately, today, our lovely government, uh, has literally said, or so our provincial, so who's in charge of like our province, has basically said we're going to be shut down for 28 days because our COVID cases have risen yet again. Hello. And it's just, I have to give my head a shake because honestly, the way that this has been handled is just absolute bullshit. I think we all should have taken a page out of New Zealand and Australia. And what they did is they literally shut down their country for, I think the beginning was like a month or two. Like everything shut down. Like nobody was allowed to leave the houses, and their cases dropped like zero. So they opened, and within a week or so, two whole cases out of the whole country came up. And you know what they did? They shut the fuck down and said, yo, you guys have not learned your lesson, so we're shutting down again. So everybody shut down. Yes, were people pissed off? Yes. But they realized in the end that, hey, this shit works. And they have opened up, and they have had zero cases so far, as of late. And every time, a case arrives, everything shut down. They don't fuck around. We are over 2,000 cases for like the past, week or more. And I hate it because it's like one area can open, one area can't. It's like, it's such bullshit. And with I hate to say it, with our generation and the way that things have been kind of, I don't want to, okay, I'm going to say it. We have been spoiled because we have had all of these abilities to do things. And in the beginning, it was a lot of hemming and hawing and not straight direction of, should we social distance? Should we shut down? Should we wear masks? Shouldn't we wear masks? And it was a lot of back and forth. And a lot of people were pretty like up in the air, like, oh, we don't have to fucking do this, because no one was taking it serious. And then when you started implementing stricter rules, people were pissed off and being like, fuck this. Like acting like spoiled children. And of course, when certain areas open up, everybody flocks to that area and comes back to our area. And it's just, it just pisses me off because this is our third-ish lockdown. Yeah, third lockdown. And it's just like, this virus is never going away. Even with the vaccines, the whole vaccine system is fucking a mess too. And it's just so frustrating, and it's just bullshit. And people are not, they're just fed up, and I get it, and I understand. But unfortunately, we're not going to get out of here, out of this situation, if people just, just don't put their fucking foot down and say, yo, like, stay the fuck home. Like, or, and just have everything shut down. And then, I don't know, this whole back and forth bullshit is just pissing me off. It's, you can tell. Okay, I'm getting heated. Let's move on. How is crisis/mental health more different than right now than it ever has been before? I think because, well, of course, with this pandemic, it has taken a really drastic hit on mental health. Again, people aren't used to being told no and to stay home. And again, we've been spoiled in that aspect. So, of course, mental health has taken a hit. It's talked about more. It's broadcast a lot more, and it's a lot in the open. So people, yes, do feel like they can talk about it, but in a way, it's in a very judgmental place that people have been broadcasting it, and it's very hard that, people do shine a light on it, but not in the most they show this they shine the light on the most darkest areas of it, and they say, oh yeah, we have all of this support and we have all of this information that we can get, and you guys can come and get support, and then it ends up just being words. There hasn't been action put forth. And then in a lot of situations, it's like if you hear of violence or a person unfortunately being killed in a stabbing or a shooting, it is right away it is jumped onto that this person had mental health issues and that is the reason why, and so on and so forth. And it's just like, okay, that could be a part of it, but not every situation is related to mental health. But it's like, well, how did that person get to that state? It's like, you guys say that we have all this help and this ability and to go forth and try to get help, but then it's not there. And I think that it's also taken a major effect on our homeless community, that they have no support or guidance in that area. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, I know what I'm talking about. It's just what I've heard from people and what the news broadcasts and say. Of course they shine the light and be like, oh yeah, we're here helping everybody, and it ends up being like nothing. So I'm honestly thinking of doing an interview with people in the community that have lived or is living through homelessness. And if you guys are looking forward to a video like that, please feel free to comment below or email me. When was the last time you got told you got to tell somebody I told you so? In a joking matter, like I joke around with my friends in that aspect, we would like, oh, like we told you so or whatever. Like in a serious matter, I don't think it's like, I mean, sometimes like it can be daily. It's like, I told you that would not work or whatever. Especially like, when we're not technically allowed to leave our homes and stuff, it can be really like battering back and forth. But it's never really taken like straight to heart. Like I've told somebody that. I've usually said it like in a jokingly manner and in like a helpful manner, like I don't be like, hey, I point it out and be like, you I told you so, like, ha ha ha, I know it all. Be like, hey, well, it might have not worked out that way, but let's work on it together or something, come up and not kind of degrade somebody. I don't like to do that. How do you judge a person? Me? I don't like judging people. And I know that sounds like, oh, well, everybody judges people. And I get that, but I don't sit there and pick out the flaws of people. I judge a person like on how they treat people, how they treat me. I don't judge people in a negative light. I really just judge it on like, in a healthy conversation and stuff, and you can judge a person that, oh, hey, like, hey, this person has good information or whatnot. And I never try to judge people in a negative light. I know I've said that a few times, but, sometimes it does happen. But I learned, again, you can't judge a person by just looking at them or just by one action. You just go forth, right? And sometimes you have to listen to your gut and be like, hey, this is a bad situation. This person is giving off negative vibes, that type of thing. You kind of like internalize it, but I fully never really just sit there and be like, oh, hey, by the looks of you, you're a mean son of a bitch, that type of thing, right? I really like to get to know the people and rather not judge them, but learn from them and just get their point of views and stuff. When was the last time you were snooping and you found something you wish you hadn't? Oh, I don't know. I'm not really a snooper. I don't tend to like snoop through people's like Facebooks or Instagrams, like in like a negative light type of thing. Like if a person messaged me, yeah, I'm gonna check out their Instagram and be like, oh, hey, is this like a fake profile type of thing? But I don't tend to go snooping and trying to find dirt on people. I don't know, something that I wish I hadn't found out about something or somebody recently. I don't think I've done that recently where I found something about somebody or something that'd be like, how, hey, red flags, this is like a bad situation, or like this is like I shouldn't know this, but I do know this information. I'm a person that I tend to be quiet and listen to the room or listen to, you know, people. And sometimes, yeah, you overhear things that you shouldn't, but I don't think technically that's snooping. It just happens. Like you hear a person walking by or whatever, and you hear something like, oh, hey, they're having a shitty day type of thing. But I don't actually go like digging for like stuff, if that makes sense. How often do you help others? Who do you help? How do you help? I don't like necessarily want to stay here and be like, hey, you know, I like to think that, you know, if one person watches my videos, or, you know, we can have a conversation being like, oh, hey, can we like bounce ideas off of each other, or like they're walking through a hard situation. I like to be like there for support and stuff. Who do you help? I like, or like support or whatnot. I'm a, I don't know, I'm a very open person, so I don't like I have a set like, oh, I only help this amount of people or support this amount of people. I tend to like love and support everybody. Like I tend to give everybody a chance, right? So it's not a direct group or gender. I'm very open. It doesn't matter age, race, whatever. I'm here for you. How do you help? I mostly just listen to people, or like I do these videos, so like I give my point of views and my experiences. I don't know if that necessarily helps somebody, but if they can like take a little something from it, that's great. You know, being there for friends and family, listening, you know, trying to help them through this by making them laugh, crack a joke, just making them feel good about themselves. That's what I tend to want to do, and I hope I do. Just letting somebody know that you are there for them, I think, is the greatest thing, and mean it, and not just say, oh, well, you can reach out to me anytime. Like actually put forth and prove it, that, you know, you send a message or be like, hey, let's go for coffee. That, well, not now, but like back when we could. But yeah, being more to like texting people and calling, because unfortunately that's all we can do nowadays, and just letting them know like, hey, I'm here for you type of thing. In now COVID world, that's basically all you can do until we're all allowed to have physical contact with people. What makes you nervous? Oh, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but going into something, a situation, and not having any information, that makes me nervous. Kind of going in blind into situations, that makes me nervous. At first, going in and talking on stages in front of groups of people when we could, I got nervous a little bit at first, but once I get going, I'm very casual. I used to get nervous when doing Taekwondo demonstrations, but now it's more so, yeah, like if I have no intel, I know that sounds very like army, but like no information on a situation that I'm going in, or like not even like a name of a person that I'm meeting, that kind of makes me nervous, because it's like, well, what the fuck do I do type of thing, right? I like to at least have kind of like a ballpark area of like a situation I'm going into. But if I don't, that really makes me nervous. What 3 words best describe you? I would say caring, loyal, and third one, I would say like supportive, if that makes sense. Like I would say caring and loving going to like one, so that's why I'm just gonna leave that at that. But yeah, I think that's what best describes me. I'm very loyal to the people that are in my life. I know I will be honest with them, like, hey, you're being an ass, or, that's not the best decision, but I will help and be there for them, hence supporting them and just trying to be, you know, showing that I care and love and, support them. And I guess it all ties into one. I just try to do those things. um, it's not always easy, but, that's kind of like the three main words I hope that describes me. I try to, at least. Who had the biggest impact on who you become besides your parents and siblings? I would definitely have to say my aunt, who's no longer with us. She was the type of person who was very honest, very loyal. She would literally take a bullet for you. But she also knew she wasn't perfect, and she let you know she was not perfect. Like, she knew, like, we used to have conversations where she used to say, like, I made shitty decisions. I fucked up. I wasn't the best daughter. I wasn't the best sister. Just to know that, sometimes when we're growing up, we have these idols of people in our lives, and we only see the good things. We don't see the bad things, or like mistakes that people make. And then as we get older, we realize that people aren't exactly perfect, right? But all along, my aunt was that type of person who showed all. She was very strong, and she battled cancer twice. Unfortunately, she lost the battle the second time. But she never gave up. She always stayed true to herself. She didn't try to change for anybody. And I think that was the biggest impact that was for me in my life, especially when I was going through the shit that I was going through. I realized that I was changing, and she also pointed that out to me. And, she just loved and accepted you for who you are. She didn't try to change you. She always tried to have your back. And, I really, really miss her every day that she's been gone. And I wish, she could see the person I've become, because when she left, I was still in a really shitty place. I was just starting to get trust back in with my family. And, I wasn't the best person I could be at that time. And now I'm a lot stronger. I've, grown as a person. And I just really wish she could see who I've become. I hope wherever she is, she can, and that she's proud of me. But yeah, I've always tried to live up to the expectation that she had as for me to be true to who I am and find what I love and who I love. And I really hope that, she never tried to pressure me and try to, like, you have to do this, you have to do that type of thing. She kind of took that pressure off of me and be like, hey, she would always talk to me about, like, hey, your parents want the best for you, your brother wants the best for you, but you also have to do what's best for you type of thing. And she always used to say I was strong and whatnot. And, I think, I just really hope that, I'm making her proud. What is more important, having a great car or having a great house? Why? I would say having a house, not that it has to be great and grand and big, but that is your roots. That is where, you're potentially going to raise a family, have pets and have a partner or stay single. That is your choice. But that is like your sanctuary, your place away from the craziness in the world, where you can go and just, be pantless and braless and, be messy and wear sweats and dance around crazy and have a glass of wine or have a beer and make food and just have fun and just be yourself. You don't have to be, a co-worker or whatever. You can just be yourself. Whereas a vehicle, yeah, it would be nice, to have a good vehicle. But I think having a home is one of the most important things. What is the most disgusting habit people have? Oh, I don't know, because those some interesting out there, like people eating their hair or eating dish soap or um, drinking urine. That's a thing. Um, but it's interesting, and some people do that, and that's their choice. But yeah, there's some interesting out there. I'm not here to kind of disown anybody for like, oh, I hate you because you eat your hair. Like, no. I yeah, there's just there's some interesting habits out there. What is your guilty pleasure? Ooh, guilty pleasure. That's a tough one. I would say dancing, like just dancing pantless in my room, just headphones on and just do my thing. That's my guilty pleasure. Or watching, um, one of my favorite movies or TV series. That's kind of, I know it's not epic, but that's my guilty pleasure. Nothing really exciting. Was there ever an event in your life that defined explanation? Okay. Okay. Was there like a life-changing moment basically in my life? Yeah, I would say for what I went through, or when my aunt passed away, that was like a really life-changing moment that was just like, whoa. Like, because, I grew up, I wasn't new to death. I've lost family members before, ones that I wasn't close with. I lost some close friends. But seeing such a strong person like my aunt, flaws and all, battled cancer once, stage 4 breast cancer, kicked its ass, and then had 11 years, 11 years of like just living the best life she could. She retired from work after that, and then literally seeing her for the last time, making plans, everything seemed okay, and then 2 months later, she was gone. Was like a big whoa. It was very hard to process, like from seeing her, from making plans, getting the last hug from her, having her kind of crash a few weeks later, thinking, oh, she has the flu. And before then, she got a clean bill of health. Like, she literally just passed her 11th year mark of like, hey, you're cancer free. And that was 3 months before she saw me. She went to Africa, came back, saw me and my family. 3 weeks later, she came down with flu-like symptoms that wouldn't go away. So her doctors had her run some tests. Then she was diagnosed with, they found some cancer cells in her liver, but they knew that wasn't where it was coming from. They found out that she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And then I think it was 3 weeks later she was gone. That is a short time to literally process all of that. And then to a few weeks later, not even a few weeks, I would say 2 weeks later, go to her funeral, pretend like everything is like, you have to be strong for everybody there, family and friends. Somebody that was in a really bad state, there at the funeral basically told me that I had no right to call my aunt, that just because she was blood didn't mean she was my aunt. That was like fucked up. And then to like be there, emotionally support like for the family and all that. That was like an entire like really fucking life-changing experience that it took me a long time to process her death. Like, I didn't process it for a very long time because I was there for everybody and just dealing with everything, and then just realized that person that you thought that was always going to be there for every experience of your life is no longer there. That's a life-changing experience. That still is just like, wow, she's never going to see me walk down the aisle. She's never going to hold my babies. I can't call her and talk to her about stupid things. And You know, it's a life-changing experience. What are your goals for the next 2 years? Jesus Christ. With COVID going on and stuff, guys, like, I don't know if we can make goals. I hope that the way that things are going, I'm honestly, what I've talked about on here before is starting my own business. I think that's kind of like where my goal is at for the next 2 years of processing that. Hopefully during that time, get my own place, you know, get my license, of course. I know these are really, really high goals, but I don't like to, like, those are like goals one day I see myself achieving, but I don't like to put pressure on myself, because I feel like if I lay it down like, oh, you know, in 2 years, blah, 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 you have to have this and whatnot, it just puts too much pressure. And like, if I don't meet them, then I'm going to beat myself up for it. Like, I like to set like, hey, one day I'm going to have this, right? But yes, one thing is, I would like to start my own business within 2 years. It is a hard fucking job to start a business, so if I can just start the slow process of that, then that will be good. But of course, continuing YouTube and my Never Give Up community, those are kind of like my main goals. Yeah. What is one place I want to travel, like, in my life? You know, there's a lot of places I want to travel, like New Zealand, Australia, Greece, Scotland, Ireland. I really want to visit a castle that basically has my last name in it. It's very cool. I really want to go there one day, so that's kind of like a big thing that I want to do. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for joining me for part 2 or another Q&A. Feel free to leave some more comments below if I didn't answer some questions. Message me if you guys want. Remember, I am doing some true crime videos and other videos related to mental health. And I actually might have an interesting video coming out in the next few weeks. I'm not going to promise anything because with COVID and everything. I'm going to try to do an interesting video, but don't hold me to that because of COVID. But anyways, guys, I'll leave it there. Sorry for another long video. Hey, there's some interesting questions. Anyway, guys, remember, never give up, always keep fighting, you're enough. And you are very much loved. Until the next video, guys, I love you. Take care. Bye.